Welcome back, folks, to WWE 2K15 2K Showcase Way of the Warrior. I'm the Mysterious JG. I doubt, if this game didn't show us the Macho Man reuniting with Elizabeth at SummerSlam, I seriously doubt it's going to show us the match made in heaven where they got married. But it might just show us. Oh yeah, you know what, it makes sense, because Taker and Snake were united in their battle against Ultimate Warrior, so it makes sense that they would attack Macho Man's wedding reception for no good reason after that. But anyway, yeah, we are going to see the match made in hell. Hulk Hogan and Ultimate Warrior. I'm sorry, match made in hell is Hulk Hogan and Ultimate Warrior versus Stardust Slaughter, Colonel Mustafa, and General Adnan. Macho Man and Ultimate Warrior aren't the match made in hell. I mean, they're great buddies. And Warrior staring at Sid Justice. I don't really remember how this match went, which could make things interesting. So let's go. The Triangle of Terror. But this means that there must be playable Adnan and Mustafas in this game. That's pretty sweet. And that classic theme music. So General Adnan is the Iron Sheik. I don't know who Colonel Mustafa is.
Colonel Mustafa and General Adnan.
I don't understand how it is that they would... I mean, freaking Iron Sheik was a legend in WWE. How are they just not pretending that they bring him back and pretend he's a different guy? I don't think it was recognized on screen they were the same guy. It's the freaking Iron Sheik.
Certainly planted firmly in the corner of Hogan and the Warrior. Everybody has their red, white, blue out, and they want nothing more than
Slaughter getting a separate entrance?
terror wiped out.
I believe this was the Waterloo of the Iraqi contingent. Because Slaughter won the title and then, he lost it to Hogan at the next big, the WrestleMania.
And their partner.
So there's no three-man entrance for all of them together, because I want to use them now exhibition mode.
WWE, the traitor, Sergeant Slaughter, ready to battle here.
I think it's safe to say somebody's going to get hurt.
This is one of those... Because later on, Slaughter came back as a pro-USA guy. I mean, this is one of those storylines that was small. It was embarrassing when you look back on it. But, and that's part of wrestling, too. Honky Tonk Man shirts are just a little ridiculous at this point in time, but... For anybody upset about Big Show tearing down the Russian flag during the feud against Rusev, yeah, I think Warrior did rip an Iraqi flag apart during this feud. And freaking General Adnan is now on the side of Iraq. He's the Iron Sheik. He's from Iran. Hadn't they just had a long and brutal war against each other? Of course, Sheik is not a big fan of the Iranian regime at the time in real life, but certainly that wasn't part of his on-screen character. The fact that he actually opposed the Supreme Leader, had defected to America. Meanwhile, I got some pretty sweet trunks from the Warrior, as ever. Sweet ring gear, anyway. I wonder if you can actually use those for your created characters after this. Yeah, but Warrior... I don't know if it was backstage stuff or maybe merchandise sales were down, but yeah, they put the title back on Hogan, and there was no sign that they intended to get it back on Warrior at any point, which is one of the reasons why he pulled it. But unlike Hogan, who eventually left WWF and got a lot of money in WCW, well, Warrior would eventually get a big payday in WCW, but he just kind of left and just disappeared initially. Notice how the Triangle of Terror disappeared. And I don't get that. Triangle of Terror did come down altogether in the real match, but for some reason in the video game version, they split it. So Jerry Lawler, probably filling in the role of Bobby Heenan. Now, Heenan was probably on commentary here, pointing out that, trying to create some tension, suggesting that Warrior and Hogan might lose here because they're not united. This was not a match that going into it I had any, I wonder who's going to win this one. And as you can see, back in 1990, whatever this is, they were advertising WWE2K15 in their rafters.
Here we go.
One of those strange things where they have advertisements for the game that you've already bought. Anyway, I'm more curious about this. Cobra Clutch, Camel Clutch, Knuckle Sandwich, Left Arm Clothesline. This is what I want to see. Camel Clutch. I put Hollywood Blonde Jabroni Hulk Hogan in Camel Clutch. And Adnan. No idea who this is. If you know who Adnan was, I think he was like a oldie-timey wrestler that they gave this gimmick to. Maybe this was the only role he had in WWF that I would have heard about. But if you know who Adnan was, I mean, I could check it out on Wikipedia for myself. But nobody comes back and tells me who he was. I probably will. But yeah, I just can't shake the feeling that he was somebody famous. This is the Iron Sheik. It's Iron Sheik. I never understood this idea that they would bring in a character called Colonel Mustafa, who was clearly the Iron Sheik, Khosrow Davari, I think his name is in the real world. Maybe his last name is Davari. Either way, Khosrow. I'm probably just butchering his name. Yeah, it never made sense to me. The guy was former WWF World Champion. He put Bob Backlund in Camel Clutch. He never put Hogan in the Camel Clutch, I think, but he was saying he could. He could break Hollywood Blonde Jabroni Hulk Hogan's back for Mr. Gagne, but he no bite Mr. McMahon hand. He no bite hand of Mr. McMahon Sr. Mr. McMahon Sr., he's a good man. I'll not bite the hand. I did not put Hollywood Hogan in Camel Clutch. I could. You, Kurt Angle, I wrestle you. Great amateur wrestler. I am greatest wrestler. Olympic trainer for Iran. Sorry. Sorry. Being possessed by the spirit of the Iron Sheik there for a minute. I would love to play as the Iron Sheik. I might off-screen play as the Iron Sheik a bit, but yeah, we're starting as Hogan. Interesting. So our objectives are Irish Whip Slaughter into any corner. And we got to defeat his team.
It's the match made in hell.
And there's special referee Sid Justice.
Look at Hulk Hogan. Whoa! Hogan really taking it to
Poor Slaughter just was not, just didn't have the build
back to his feet, but
at this point. He's a good wrestler. I always liked Sarge, but the belly, I mean.
They have got Sergeant Slaughter really near the big one. Yes! Oh,
And Sid Justice DQs them for using closed fists. Adnan without much of a reaction there. Or was that Mustafa? I've already forgotten.
Hulk Hogan on a roll here, but he tags out. Watch this double clothesline.
Incredible action.
Warrior
Well, that's
Hogan.
stretching it a bit, Cole, but
Slaughter's down. The question is, can he get back up? Did you hear how his
no, that's it. He's utterly defeated at this point.
An aggressive shot to the midsection.
That brainbuster was a pretty sweet spot. Well, the delayed suplex wasn't really a brainbuster, but nerve hold time. Modified Cobra Clutch right here.
Submission hold. He's in the driver's seat now.
Cobra Clutch, aka the Atomic Noogie.
Dating all the way back to earlier this year when Sergeant Slaughter defeated the Ultimate Warrior for the WWE.
I don't know why I'm suddenly going for all these grapples, but I am.
The WWE Championship back to glory, back to America when he beat Slaughter for the title at WrestleMania 7.
But as we've learned, that is not where the story ends. Despite losing the title, Slaughter and his Triangle of Terror have remained a force here in WWE. And their chief targets, Ultimate Warrior and Hulk Hogan.
Well, he's not going to be a force for that long, I don't think. No tagging out, you son of a... How am I going to moderately damage you if you tag out?
You need to be careful of.
Sergeant Slaughter's a traitor. What? He can't get enough
What?
beating if you ask me.
Well,
What?
be that as
I
it
can't
may,
believe you'd call him a traitor, even though he's clearly a traitor.
and his Triangle of Terror has been running roughshod here in the WWE.
He literally betrayed America and joined the Iranian army. Or Iraqi army. And Lawler's like, he's not a traitor.
Oh, gosh, there's no telling how much damage that did.
It's tough for Lawler to say anything that really makes sense here, considering that he wasn't like the commentator at the time.
Now that will be a hot ticket. From what I'm told, it traces
Yeah, I'm
Hulk's
tired.
rise
Hogan,
to
you take
dominance
over.
here in the WWE.
I'm tired,
I
Moke
can't
Mugen.
wait to see it.
Man, I gotta get Slaughter back in. Beating you was not gonna avail me anything, brother.
Yeah, adding Mustafa was such a game changer for Slaughter.
Who's a Hollywood blonde jabroni now, brother?
But he's also an accomplished
That's right, I know what you're going to call me in a couple of years in your Hall of Fame
Adnan is
speech,
just so
brother.
devious. You never know what's going on in his mind.
What's this? He's putting those educated feet to good use. A shoulder block, and down he goes. Oh, look at the emotion.
You guy on the apron. Okay, get to beat up this guy for a while.
Oh, timber, and he falls hard. No, not again.
Folks, later tonight, the man who the Ultimate Warrior forced into retirement, Randy Savage, says, I do to the lovely Miss Elizabeth.
What a match made in heaven those two are. My sincerest congratulations to the future Mr. and Mrs. Savage.
And if I remember correctly, this will be the first wedding here in WWE since October of 1985.
Oh, I remember that one well. Saturday night's main event. Uncle Elmer and his bride Joyce. You know,
I don't remember that. That was before my time, folks.
Ouch.
Oh no. Now Slaughter's pulling down the ropes, just in case I get Irish whipped out of this full Nelson. Ah, my brilliant plan to make sure Slaughter's tagged in, taking Mustafa off the apron, which didn't work.
He put all his weight behind that.
Ooh, Hulk Hogan may have it.
I'm gonna drop the leg on this guy, brother, then build up another finisher because I'll probably need one to get slaughtered,
Wow.
dude.
He's still down after that. That's it. He's out. Interesting step. This is the 4th SummerSlam and the 4th straight year that either Hulk Hogan or the Ultimate Warrior have competed in the main event.
They certainly are experienced in main events. But even more impressive,
I'm surprised it's only 4 in a row for
6 matches in all, 6 wins.
But on the flip side, this is the first SummerSlam match for Sergeant Slaughter. You have to wonder if that inexperience will cost him here tonight.
But there's been many SummerSlam matches for Adnan and Mustafa. I mean,
he's accustomed to competing in big-time environments like this one.
not really having a lot of difficulty with these guys, are we? Get the hell up,
A sharp kick.
brother.
Oh, man, is he fired up.
Tag Slaughterin', motherfucker!
Hulk Hogan gathering attention in a hurry. Wow. He's still not through. You know, I wonder if one of these days Slaughter will wake up and realize all the wrong he's done of late. You'd have to think that there's a conscience in there.
Nice counter by him.
Even if he does, King, would his country take him back after all that he's done?
I doubt it. Slaughter will always be an enemy of
I
America.
don't know the answer to that.
Great reversal.
I want to get a big boot.
Oh, look at Hulk Hogan here.
Assume big boot is my special move, yeah. I assume the guy has to be running towards you to do it.
What? And that should
Ooh.
all the little Hulksters in attendance here in New York City.
All little
Remember the role
Hulksters.
General Adnan played in burning that Hulk Hogan t-shirt a few months back.
And now it's payback time, King. Both
He's gonna
Warrior
burn
and Hogan
Adnan's
how
face.
despicable Adnan is.
Neither have the fans. They're chomping at the
Would
bit.
you
here.
tag
They wanna
Slaughter in,
see
damn it?
Adnan get his.
Oh. Fine.
And down they go. What an impact.
Okay, yeah, everybody gets a big boot. This is about how the match actually went, I would imagine.
There's no getting up from that. Sid Justice says he stands alone, but I'm not so sure he can be trusted, especially after we saw footage of him in the back with Sergeant Slaughter and General Adnan.
That was just one clip that could have very easily been taken out of context. We don't know who else.
But he was
to
performing
talk to
sexual
yet.
favors,
We don't know
Cole.
who anybody talked to. Heck, maybe even Ultimate Warrior had some interesting conversations earlier today at SummerSlam. We'll never know.
Wait a minute.
Ultimate Warrior always has
General
interesting
Adnan just
conversations.
winked at Sid Justice? Did I just see that?
Graphics aren't good enough for this to show that.
Another shot with the boot.
Oh man, I lost my big boot. But I got another leg drop. Come on, now this is getting ridiculous.
General Adnan gets out of that one. Nice move.
General Adnan with his first ever successful move in this match.
By any means necessary.
Thank you. Jeez.
He was able to reverse that.
And now Slaughter's going to start reversing stuff. And taking out Ultimate Warrior. Don't you dare tag out Slaughter.
Oh, man!
This is...
Oh, Hulk Hogan saw that one coming.
See, I think I would have won this match if I didn't have the special conditions I was trying to do.
And there's the reversal.
Okay, get up so I can whip you in the corner. Don't make me big boot you.
And look at Hogan.
Because I don't want to, just in case that caused you to tag out. And now the cavalry slowly coming in.
Out of control, Michael. That special referee Sid better do something here.
Other than just stand around looking terrifying.
What's Warrior doing? Who knows? He's got a steel chair. Look at this. He's chasing Edna and Mustafa out of here. Oh no, you gotta be kidding.
Hogan just cheated for some reason.
And Slaughter's down again. What's gonna happen next?
You can practically feel the wear and tear that's been done throughout this match.
I've got a finisher. What's the big problem? Oh, well.
Oh, after that, you're not seeing stars. You're looking at constellations.
I've got the damn finisher. You waiting for just the right moment to leg drop Slaughter? Do it. Ooh. Is he doing it or not?
He brings his leg crashing down. Shoulders down.
There you go. Big win there. A match I could have won 10 times over, but... And the lights go black. Is the Undertaker going to attack? What's going on?
These teams gave us everything they had.
General Ednan looking pretty awesome there. Warrior playing almost no role in that match. I guess he ran them all the way to the back. He wasn't even on the apron for me to tag anymore, was he? I'm a real American. Totally stealing the spotlight from the Warrior. They tried to make the Warrior the new guy. Not sure what happened, but they clearly backtracked. You are generally horrible. That fan's probably holding up a sign that was meant to mock someone other than Hogan, but still it works for Hogan too. And then the Warrior's career suddenly ended.
SummerSlam 1991 would mark the last appearance of the Ultimate Warrior inside a WWE ring for nearly 8 months.
Oh, I guess it would. That's right. Then he came back and saved. He saved Hulk Hogan from an attack by Papa Shango, I think.
Exploding back into the spotlight in 1992, the Ultimate Warrior stormed through all who dared challenge his intensity,
including the Nasty Boys.
The Macho Man Randy Savage is better than the best.
It was Warrior's rivalry.
Doesn't make a lot of sense to me either.
That would soon manifest into a much-needed alliance.
What you see across the
Okay, they're gonna skip the second match and go straight to the Macho Maniac, which never actually happened in the ring.
Ultimate Maniacs, we are ultimate survivors.
But as the Ultimate Maniacs rocketed to the top in WWE,
They had like one
without
match.
warning, Ultimate Warrior would once again vanish.
There were rumors just yesterday that the Ultimate Warrior would not be at Survivor Series. He would not team up with the Macho Man Randy Savage. And unfortunately, we can confirm that that is correct.
So, my favorite match ever, they're not even going to show the build for it. They're not going to have the match.
The Ultimate Warrior makes his long-awaited
Yeah,
return
well.
to battle Hunter Hearst Helmsley.
Well, this is probably
on the
going to wrap it up then.
grandest stage of them all, WrestleMania
And
12.
this should be like, this should take us full circle. This ought to be like the Honky Tonk Man match. You don't even play the game. You just do one button smash sequence and win. Still, though, I'm glad that Triple H would actually include his ass getting kicked. I imagine he had some say in what went into this game.
The following contest is scheduled
where's
for
China?
fall. About to come down the
I
aisle
think he had
from
China with him.
Connecticut, weighing 246 pounds, Hunter Hearst Helmsley.
I don't really consider myself amongst them, but if you are a Triple H hater, this is a pretty beautiful moment for you.
What will the Ultimate Warrior look like? I got a tip right before WrestleMania that he's up to 400 pounds.
No, I think that was Bastion Booger. So yeah, the Greenwich Snob, Hunter Hearst Helmsley. Maybe this was before he had China. China would definitely not be featured in the game regardless, for political reasons, but a lot of people have gotten upset about the fact that she's been erased from WWE history books. They say that they're being two-faced by claiming it's because she did porn. But I'm going to give the WWE the benefit of the doubt and point out China went on to do porn. And maybe they don't really want her to be associated with their brand. She did hardcore porn. I mean, a couple of WWE divas over the years, with WWE's blessing, marketed by the WWE, have done Playboy. But she did hardcore porn. I didn't see it, but, you know, I don't need to.
His return to WWE from parts unknown, weighing 200.
And then the Macho Man runs out and attacks him for abandoning the Ultimate Maniac.
Ultimate Warrior.
Unbelievable. Would you look at the amazing physical condition of the Ultimate Warrior? 400 pounds and bald, huh, King?
Pulls off that 400 pounds pretty well, and don't know really what to do with the whole bald thing, but.
Huge match here at WrestleMania 12.
Uh-oh. Am I going to get attacked? No, why was the little 1P thing flying over him there? Because we're getting attacked from behind. He's already got more offense than the Honky Tonk Man, and yet I'm still fully expecting that this is going to be a button smash test rather than a match. Man, and you wish Sting had done that. I haven't bothered to smark off about how WrestleMania went, but it seems disrespectful to the memory of Warrior. Man, he looks like an idiot. Okay, now that was disrespectful to the memory of Warrior.
Whoa, he's measuring. What a move.
This is, yeah, so I do have some gameplay, which is more than we got with Honky Tonk, but.
Ultimate Warrior is looking to end it. Oh, you do not get up from that. Man, this one might
not when you're freaking Hunter Hearst Helmsley, anyway.
Warrior looks to be making up for lost time, but the Ultimate Warrior is back.
Warrior looks to be making up for lost time, but the Ultimate Warrior is back. The Ultimate Warrior's back has back knee on it. I can't imagine what JG's implying. So, folks, you know where this is going. Exhibition mode, Hunter Hearst Helmsley versus Triple H. It's got to happen. So, that was a fun trip down memory lane for me. Some of my favorite, like, it reminded me, even in cases where it wasn't showcased, other storylines happening around the same time. You know, the Macho King reuniting with Elizabeth. The Macho Maniac story build. The whole Macho Man versus Ultimate Warrior, whose corner is Mr. Perfect going to be in SummerSlam 92. That was all just awesome.
No WWE talent.
Kind of wish they'd showed it, but yeah.
On their own.
They need Rick Rude to carry them to good matches. Sorry, that wasn't.
The relationship between Warrior and the WWE Universe was a once-in-a-lifetime phenomenon.
The power of the Ultimate Warrior is something that you want to feel, that you want to taste.
The Ultimate Warrior returned to WWE and took his
and he had his little girls with him. That was sweet.
2014 Hall of Fame class. Tragically, the Ultimate Warrior passed away just days after his Hall of Fame induction. But in true Warrior fashion,
He came back to life?
Universe with a strong final message.
Every man's heart one day beats its final beat. His lungs breathe their final breath. And if what that man did in his life makes the blood pulse through the body of others, it makes them believe deeper in something than larger than life, then his essence, his spirit, the running the man did, live forever.
Get a little misty there. Now, hopefully I did a full clear. I don't want to have to go back and... There, okay. I was going to feel silly having to go back and complete anything after that. But, gotta tell you, man, that was a lot of fun. Made a lot of... I don't know if they were cheap shots. Took a few jabs here and there at the Warrior. He was an incredibly silly character. With the insane promos, the batshit crazy promos. And the smarks, and I consider myself one of those sometimes, we'll make fun of. You know, no man becomes a superstar alone. Yeah, he needs Rick Rude and Macho Man to carry him to good matches. I mean, it's true. It's true. He needed the right opponent to have a good match. But no matter who he was feuding with, he could cut a batshit crazy promo. And part of you can just look at that and be like, this is insane babbling. Why would anyone want to listen to this? But, I mean, you weren't a wrestling fan in the 90s if there's no part of you that wasn't fascinated by this guy yelling about putting the rocket fuel in the spaceship. Hulk Hogan kicking down the door to find the pilots who have made the sacrifice so that the plane can nosedive into parts unknown, Hogan. I mean, this guy was what wrestling in the 90s was about, for better or for worse. So if I'm making fun of this guy, who was a real-life guy who died, and he did a lot of things to less than endearing after his wrestling career was pretty much over. He became a public speaker, and he was supposed to be, what was he, like I can't remember now if he was a libertarian or an objectivist. But he would say stuff including, he went off on homosexuals once. You know, I'm a straight guy, but I'm fairly liberal about these things, and Warrior did this whole deal where he said, queering doesn't make the world work, which he got a lot of flack for that. People just kind of making fun of him. He was, you know, but he is a guy who didn't always know when to put a filter over his mouth and not say things. And he got a reputation. His comic book was just batshit crazy. The Eightfold Principles of Destrucity. He had a reputation for just being incredibly difficult to work with, and, you know, all this bad stuff that people said about him over the years. WWE did this total hack-it job DVD just bashing him. But, you know, what it all comes around to in the end of the day was, I mean, anybody out there like comic books? I've never been a big comic book reader, but I like the comic book inspired movies and stuff. He was a comic book character. And you know what? If frickin' Spider-Man or any of the X-Men or, you know, your favorite DC Comics characters, if they were walking around in the real world, you'd snicker a bit. They'd be a bit crazy. They'd be a bit goofy. But they'd still be awesome in their own way. And the Ultimate Warrior, I mean, you know, if there was ever a wrestler that it made sense for them to try to break into the world of comic books, yeah, it's probably Warrior. Even more than Undertaker. Yeah, I don't know. Thoughts have gotten lost on me a little bit here, but that was definitely a lot of fun. I could nitpick over which matches they did and didn't include in the mode. Combined, Hall of Pain, One More Match, and Path of the Warrior, I think were... It cost like $12 or something like that, I think, on top of the full game purchase price. I never felt like I was ripped off. It was fun enough. I enjoyed it. Good stuff. And they're all done now, so we'll be moving on next time. Already recorded some of it, just haven't made it live yet, so I'll start putting some Best Friends, Bitter Enemies public and try to record the rest. And then the final chapter, did them in kind of a weird sequence. Started with Mark Henry because it was the newest. Didn't even know this was coming out. Mark Henry, then Randy and Christian, then Warrior. Then HBK and Shawn Michaels, but actually the best, and the best of them, the one that was the most involved, that really showed a feud. This was about a single feud, but it jumped around a little bit. This was about a guy. This was about a guy, and it stretched across years and just really hit the highlights. This was about a feud, and it had a lot of detail, but there's a lot of stuff going on in the background. But this, the Hustle, Loyalty, Disrespect one, this, I hadn't watched this as it played out on TV, but watching it, it really did feel like a fully prepared story, and it was a lot of fun. And I'm going to enjoy LPing it, but just from a nostalgia value. Made fun, me and Bobo together. Any wrestling fans make a lot of fun of the Ultimate Warrior and his silliness and over-the-top, over-the-top destrucity. Big featured player on the WrestleCraft website of old. You know, all that stuff with, he goes into a chamber and Jake the Snake locks him in there, and a big fake snake bites him, and, well, I don't think they used a fake snake. I think they just cut it so that there was a snake, and it's implied that he was bitten. All this nonsense that went on with the Ultimate Warrior, but I mean, you know, run into the ring, pumping the ropes, having the best theme music ever. Ultimate Warrior is alright in my book. It's just a lot of fun. And the speech he gave about inspiring people, they cut out his Hall of Fame speech was kind of all over the map a little bit, but the promo he cut the next night on Raw, where he talked about how the fans' belief in him and inspiring people made him immortal. I mean, it was just bizarre that he cut it and then died so shortly afterwards, but it totally worked. So I don't think there's any better way to put it. I don't have a transcript of it in front of me, but whatever you think of Warrior as an athlete, as a professional, as a creative storyteller, if you think he was selfish, if you think he had to be carried to good matches, if you think the promos were ridiculous and he was over the top, he made arenas full of people just get excited and believe in this crazy face-painted dude from parts unknown with the power of the, you know, unknown pagan gods putting their warrior power into his hands. People went crazy for this guy, and at the end of the day, in pro wrestling, that's what it's all about. So that's it, folks. When we come back, we'll get on to a little bit more modern storylines, and we'll move towards wrapping up this 2K Showcase mode. But I think I've already determined what my favorite path along the 2K Showcase was, and that path was the path of the Warrior. Thanks for watching, folks.